I've got some great news, and that great news is troubleshooting. And you might say, well, Keith, how is troubleshooting great news? Well, in a production environment with the time pressures on us, especially if we're on a new network we haven't seen before, there's a lot of pressure to get the job done, and that's where our skills can come through. But the good news about troubleshooting is that if we do it in a practice environment, in a safe environment with time, we can use this troubleshooting exercise to go ahead and verify what we know. We can hone our skills, get better at the commands, and take those skills into the production network. That way, when there is a real problem, we'll be that much faster in solving it. So here are some ideas that I had regarding a troubleshooting lab, a safe place where we could practice our troubleshooting skills. I thought, why don't I do this? I'll create a few labs. And then I thought, well, if I put the problems in the network, I know what they are. That's not really troubleshooting because I'm just like, oh, look at this and look at that. So instead, here's the idea. I've created some troubleshooting labs that I'd like you to log in to the CBT Nuggets website and actually do. So in each of the videos, I'll introduce the problem of what's not working and then have you go through and solve it using the online lab. Now, in addition to that, I thought it would be fun to have another teammate here at CBT Nuggets also do that same troubleshooting lab. And so I got a few volunteers. So you'll be super excited about seeing who they are. But I have a few volunteers who have offered to come in and actually do the troubleshooting lab and record it. So my intention is this. I'll present a problem, a challenge, like this PC can't talk to this server, whatever it is. I'd like you to pause the video at that point and then work on the lab to solve it. And then after you've solved it or worked on it, then hit play or resume, and it'll then have a walkthrough with one of our instructors actually doing it. And here's the deal. I gave them no heads up as far as what the problem might be. Well, I did say it's something, at layer 2 or layer 3. So it's not an application layer problem with an access control list or something like that. And it's not a, like there's no physical cables there. And that's all I told them. And then what we get to do is watch them walk through it. And we can compare that to what we did. So as a warm up to these labs, let me share with you the topology. It's the same production network that we've worked with in previous videos and skills as part of our training here, just to make sure we're clear on where things are. And then in the next video, you can launch the video, launch the lab, and start the troubleshooting. So let's look at our topology and verify that we know where things are. Everything here that I'm circling now, this is all Arizona, like the Arizona headquarters. And this is the client PC in Arizona. Now, in the virtual lab, this virtual machine is a Windows 10 computer. So you can use the tools over on the right-hand side, click that VM, it'll take you to the interface or to the screen for that Windows 10 machine. Then we have this access layer switch, access 1. We have core 1 and core 2, which are multi-layer switches. And then we have router 1 here, which is the router that connects to not only the internet for internet access, but also to the Nevada locations and also the Florida locations. So this is all in Nevada, and all of this is in Florida. Also, the IP addresses on these three routers, this is going to be .5, .6, and .7. That's also reflected up here with .5, .6, and .7 respectively. And also the layer 3 interfaces on core 1 and core 2. Their IP addresses on their respective VLAN interfaces are listed right here as well. So that, my friend, is the network topology. And I also want to point out that I have removed the ability in the lab to do a show running config. And that way you just can't sort through it, look for something fishy or something different. But we're going to be able to rely on all the show commands that we've discussed and practiced up to this point regarding looking at the routing table, regarding looking at the VLANs, regarding looking at the trunks and so forth. All commands which we've covered up to this point, and now it's your opportunity, starting with the very next video, to troubleshoot an IP-based network. So I'll see you in that next video. Meanwhile, I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.